Hey there, fantastic Spanish students. So we're going to work on what we used to do. Things that we used to do. That is the imperfect tense. So you've done the preterite, which is what we did and had a definite time beginning and a definite time end. Now we're going to talk about what we used to do. So that's the imperfect tense. You do have to know your vocabulary. If you haven't learned your vocabulary, it's time to learn it. You can go to your vocabulary list. You can go to the Quizlet sets. The imperfect tense is what we used to do. So they're repeated actions. They're things we did over and over. And there really isn't a specific start time or a specific end time. So I used to live in Florida. Now, obviously, I'm not living there anymore, but I didn't tell you when I started and I didn't tell you when I stopped. It's just when I used to do that. My brother practiced doing an ollie every day in the past, but no specific time, no specific ending, and it's repeated. It's something he did every day. I watched Hallmark movies once a week. Doesn't tell me specifically when, but it's something that happened. These are useful time expressions for the imperfect. You should take notes if you don't know them. Feel free to practice pausing and repeating. Siempre, nunca, a veces, frecuentemente, con frecuencia, cada día, cada mes. So if you can do cada día, you can do cada mes. That means you could do cada semana, cada viernes, cada año. Todos los días, todos los meses. That means you could also do todas las mañanas, todas las tardes. These are just a few to get you started. So again, the imperfect is what we used to do, repeated actions in the past. No iba al cine nunca. Siempre hacía tareas del hogar. No veía mucho la televisión. Pause this, try to read them out loud. Maybe take some notes. So what did you used to do? Yo iba a, veía. Think about where you used to go and maybe what you used to watch or see when you were a kid. So we're going to take class time. We're going to take some notes. We're going to practice describing. We're going to put these in our notebooks. As we're doing this, sometimes I go too fast in these recordings. Pause. Stop the recording. Practice repeating after me. If I ask you a question, pause the recording and I want you to try to speak your answer. Also, pause the recording. You ask me the question and I'll give you the answer. So here we go. ¿Ibas al cine mucho? ¿Ibas al teatro a veces? ¿Ibas de compras frecuentemente? Hopefully you paused and you wrote down some sample answers. Here's that iba, little hint on how to start your sentence. And here are mine. I want you to ask me the questions now. Iba al cine con mis padres a veces. Iba al teatro rara vez. Sí, iba de compras cada 2 semanas. All right, so again, the imperfect is what you used to do. ¿Siempre bailabas con tus amigos? ¿Practicabas deportes cada día? ¿Visitabas con familia cada mes? Take the time to pause this and write out your sample answers. Pause this too, and when I ask you the question, you go ahead and practice speaking your answer. Go ahead and read me your question now. Bailaba con mis amigos cada mes. No, practicaba deportes durante los veranos. Nadaba con un equipo. Visitaba con familia cada día festivo. And sure, I'll share a little bit about myself. In middle school, we called it junior high back then. We used to have a dance on a Friday once a month. It was a really big deal. I'm not really a big athlete, but I was a part of my local rec league summer swim team. And my family had a huge deal with holidays, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We always got together. All right. So again, did you used to do these things? I'm going to ask you the question in Spanish. I want you to pause and try to write out your answer. And then I want you to read your answer out loud. ¿Escuchabas música cada noche? ¿Pintabas todos los días? ¿Dibujabas cada semana? Are you noticing a pattern? Abas over here and Abba over here for those answers. So you need to ask me the question now, and here are my sample answers. Ready, go. Sí, siempre escuchaba música. No, pintaba a veces en la clase de arte. No, dibujaba todos los días en mi cuaderno. So just like you, I listened to music all the time as a kid. Really only got to paint in my art class, but sometimes. And as for drawing, I drew in my notebook all the time. I had doodles everywhere. Alrighty. So again, imperfect, did you used to? Yes, I used to, or no, I did not used to. So ready? I'm going to ask the question. You're going to pause and try to write out your answer, and then you're going to speak your answer. ¿Hablabas por teléfono mucho? ¿Leías libros frecuentemente? ¿Leías una revista cada mes? Now you ask me the questions, and I will go ahead and answer. Ready? No, no hablaba mucho por teléfono. Había un teléfono en la casa. Sí, leía libros todos los días. Sí, leía las revistas Highlights y National Geographic. Yep, that's my generation. We really only had one phone in the house back then. All right, so talking about these things, did you used to do them? Ready? ¿Salías con amigos cada tarde? Pause, try to write, and then read your answer out loud. ¿Hacías tareas del hogar los fines de semana? ¿Siempre ibas a cenar o almorzar? Now, you're noticing some differences. That salías, that hacías, and then over here, the salía and hacía. All right, your turn to ask me. Sí, salía con amigos después de la escuela. Montábamos en bicicleta o jugábamos Star Wars. Sí, hacía tareas del hogar cada fin de semana. No, no iba a cenar o almorzar con frecuencia. Back in the day, again, I'm a 70s and 80s kid. We played outside. After school, you came home, you had your snack, you did your homework, and then you went outside. Chores, those were a regular thing. You had chores every weekend, and sometimes you had chores during the week. Your job might be to set the table or take out the trash. Everybody in the house had chores. And as for going out to eat, that really wasn't a big deal back then. Going out to eat was a huge special treat. All right, so these endings for the AR, cut off the AR and add the ending. Aba, abas, aba, habamos, haban. For the ER and the IR, ia, ias, ia, iamos, ian. There are only 3 irregulars. Ir, to go, is iba, ibas, iba, etc. Ver, to see, is beia, beias, beia. There's another one in there too, but we're not going to worry about it too much because this video is long enough. Make sure you study, make sure you practice. I'm going to put in some other things in the lesson. So if you want more specific detailed notes about subject pronouns and verb informing the imperfect, you've got it in there. All right. I love you. Make good choices. Come back to me next class.